Spring finally seems like it's arrived in Edmonton. The change in seasons has been reminding me of my own evolving understanding of myself. The more time I spend reflecting and looking inwards, the more my icy protective shell melts away, revealing my soft and gooey center filled with dresses and nail polish, but also violent video games and facts about cars. If it hasn't become clear yet, I personally find gender to be a construct that has only served to confuse the heck out of me. I just hope that one day the changing of the seasons won't mean second-guessing every single piece of clothing in my closet. Hopefully, we're in for a long, beautiful summer, both literally and metaphorically. This is episode 3 of Gender. I hardly know them. Today, we are sitting down with Lannie. They identify as non-binary and use any or they/them pronouns.
All right, let's do some rolling.
Yeah, this is going to be either ASMR or really bad audio for a second here.
Okay,
So-
lovely.
Yep.
Click, clicks. The main one that comes to mind is just the expectations or the stereotypes that get applied to gender. So being capable to do something, but then not being expected or not being allowed to do that. So an example being, I can lift things. I am actually capable of lifting things. And having, it's not even not being allowed to lift them, it's doing it and then being told, wow, you're strong for a girl. It's not even just applied to myself, it's seeing others limit themselves by that. That is the real thing that really annoys me. Like people who say, oh, that looks really nice. I love the way that looks. I'm like, oh, why? If you like it, you should try it. And they're like, oh, no, I can't. Like, it's not, it's really sad to see people limit themselves.
Both of us are big fans of tabletop role-playing games, and the character creation is a big part of that. And it's like this really kind of fun, safe space to explore
Different roles.
Yeah, different roles, even like genders and
Genders.
stuff. Generally, when I play,
Personalities.
yeah, genders and personalities, the same thing. But yeah, like generally when I play, I usually do not play a cis male because it's just there's not a lot that interests me about that in my day-to-day life. And so I find that tabletop role-playing is like a really good place to explore other things in a safe environment.
Yep.
With friends.
Yep.
And then you get to like, kind of role-play as that person a bit and sometimes make some big discoveries about yourself.
Or are we speaking from experience?
Oh,
No, not even a bit.
Not at all.
It's basically like a wider range of character creation than video games.
Yeah.
Because I know in video games, I always screwed around with who I was playing as.
Yeah.
And also sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And the tabletop role-playing is very much a do what you want playing field when it comes to character creation and performance, because you are the character.
Yeah. And it's just like it can be so gratifying to perform as someone else, especially if like and sometimes that's fulfilling some kind of fantasy for you as you're like, oh, I identify this way or I look a certain way, but I can be whoever.
Yep. And for me, it's very much like, I can be sassy. I can be rude. I can say what I want to say.
It's a fulfilling form of of like creative storytelling. And I do know that like there are some people who they love, and I think they do this too when they play like video games. They love a self-insert.
Yes.
Because for some people that is the most gratifying thing they
Yeah,
can do is
the
like
best
what
escape.
what would I do in this, and they really
Yeah.
love to be in it personally.
Yeah.
For me, absolutely not.
No. I want to pretend I am not me.
Yeah.
I would like to
exactly.
not be me for a
Yeah.
little while. I do what I want. I've basically thinking too much about gender gets me in a thought spiral. Like I will keep going on that thing forever, and second guess and reiterate. And part of even deciding that non-binary was something I identified with brought on other things of, am I non-binary enough? Are the choices I'm making actually presenting myself the way I want to be perceived? And that was just too much work. It's too much extra anxiety. So I tried to do what I want to do. It's like, oh, today I want to wear that dress. Or the next day, I want to feel strong today. Or I don't want to be perceived as like a desirable object today. Like, so I'm going to do things that make me not feel like that. I try not to consider, I don't want to be femme today. I don't want to be masc today. It's more of, what do I just want to be today? Yeah. I just try not to categorize things as this or that. It's like, I'm feeling femme today. And it's like, so I've got a dress on or a skirt on, or I have actually put effort into something. And it's like, well, what makes that femme? What makes that a feminine experience? And it's like, it doesn't have to be. It's like, I want to be fancier than I normally am, is another way to look at it. Not feminine, fancy. And that could be, I'm wearing a suit today, or I am doing up my hair for once in a lifetime. Instead of just rolling out of bed and shoving my head under a tap. And so just trying to reword it for myself personally makes it less stressful. There are days I take a shower and it's like, you know what, I'm going to dress up fancy and I'm going to go sit on the couch and contemplate life and stuff like that, but I'm going to be fancy. And sometimes people see that as self-care because I'm putting in an effort to be just like a step above the complete couch potato. And so I like to accept that and say, yeah, that is my self-care because today I want to be fancy, but the rest of my existence isn't matching fancy.
We've played enough role-playing tabletop games that we can kind of just
we can fudge our way through it.
freeform
Yeah.
this. We'll be doing some dice rolling because that's fun.
And they're pretty.
Yeah,
I like the
I do have a
clickety
lot of I do have a lot of very pretty dice too. And yeah, we'll just
Go from there.
yeah.
Deal. Sorcerer, wizard, warlock,
Right.
druid.
You know what? I'm feeling druid.
Yeah.
I've never played a druid.
You've never played a druid.
Be
a druid.
I'm doing druid. Yeah.
Be the plant parent you've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
I've never been a barbarian or a paladin.
Okay.
They're so out of my realm.
I mean, paladins have a bit of magic.
They do have a bit of magic.
Barbarians' magic is just...
Can I be weird about what the paladin believes in?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, so I'm going to do a paladin. I see myself as non-binary. I also don't see myself as androgynous. I feel like I can't fully embody, like my physiology does not, and the effort needed to get to that level of androgyny, it would be panic inducing, would cause that stress and would cause additional worry that I'm trying to escape by choosing to be non-binary. So I have to, like, a big part of this was accepting I present as female. I cannot escape that. As long as there are gender roles and gender binaries, I will present as female. And that's okay. I can still do whatever the hell I want. Like, there are days I'm like, oh yeah, I'm rocking this androgyny. I want to be this person for other people to see and like feel powered by. But most of the time it's like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it at all. And it's easier that way. Perfect world for me, no gender binaries. People are just people. Very simplified, very ideal. But by being non-binary and then trying to fit into an androgyny, being both at the same time or neither, for me feels very much like I'm reiterating the binary by saying, well, I'm neither of these. Well, why can't I just be both? Why can't none of it matter? And I find that a lot too with like sexual orientations. People are like, well, I'm this. And when I see those labels or I get asked to put a label on myself, it's like, I mean, I feel like I'm giving you a can of beans that's labeled as carrots. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be the same when you open the can. I might be mislabeled, just so you know. I kind of like the idea now of being a lizard or a frog.
Okay.
Thinking a little bit of classic.
And we're homebrewing this, so if
are
whatever that
homebrewing
means,
so
we
hard.
can figure out what being a frog means. If
Frog
you wanna,
paladin.
yeah.
What
if
was
you
that?
wanna.
What was that frog god that you made?
Maribok.
I could be
disciple of-
I'm a disciple of Maribok.
Oh, that's
Done.
great.
Okay, so I'm a frog.
Okay.
Person. No, I want to be a lizard. Let's do a lizard person.
That's awesome.
I forgot.
Oh, you could be like one of those spotted lizards in the desert or something. That'd be
You could
cool.
have a cute fat tail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he would lose his tail sometimes, but it would grow back.
Yeah.
For people who have not played tabletop specifically with us, because this is something that came up during one of our games, Maribok was a god we created that was
A frog
god, a toad frog.
Yes.
Toad god. Except his specific thing was that he was two frogs.
A frog coming out of a frog.
Yeah, he was a frog sitting in a frog's mouth.
Yeah, he was.
So like imagine like kids in a trench coat.
Yep.
Similar to that,
it's
except
frog.
one of the frogs was just like ah.
And had a frog coming out of the mouth.
Yeah.
He had a sword?
He had like a big spear
Spear.
that was held by both hands.
By both frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like
I
a
love
frog mech suit.
Okay, so I am a paladin lizard person who worships Maribok, the frog in a frog. I like thinking of gender as a personality trait because personality is considered fluid. You can choose to change your personality. You almost are expected to better yourself and your personality. You're also not expected to stay in the same niche your whole life because age changes your personality. And I feel like that needs to be applied to gender. As a kid, you can be a tomboy. As a teen, you can be a punk. As a young adult, you can be a prep, for all you know. And then as a senior, you could be posh. Like, that's a whole array of, like, style. And with that comes some personality changes. And I feel like so does it in gender presentation. So thinking of gender as just part of a personality, it makes more sense to me. It's like, because my personality changes, so too does my gender. I like to look at how I present gender as more like, how do I present myself to the world? ignoring the term and the history that comes with gender.
I'm gonna be a Gorgon.
You're gonna be a Gorgon druid.
Yeah. I think also because like I'm thinking like Medusa.
Yes.
Like she was kind of a hermit
Yep.
on her own, and I
Yep.
also associate druids with kind
I
of
always associate
being
druids
like-
with hermity.
yeah, kind of
Hermitage.
crotchety old, like I live in the trunk of a tree, kind of a
Yeah. What is money?
yeah, get off my lawn sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Please. Yes, she makes lawn ornaments.
Yeah.
Hi.
That was clever.
Thanks.
That's clever. I love that. Oh, that's so great. Okay.
You're welcome.
I'm writing that down.
I want the one with the fat tail, so like a leopard gecko. They've got the like chonk tail,
They do.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
and then they got the tiny, tiny little legs.
So, is your lizard person? They're not bipedal. They're gonna.
I don't know.
Do they walk around like on four legs? They look much more just
What if
like
they're
a.
like the things from? It's probably Zelda. The Lizzaloos. They can stand up, can't they?
I don't know if I know this reference. Sorry. You
don't know Zelda.
I don't know Zelda very well.
Oh, that's fine. They're lizard people that attack you, but they like scoot forward on their belly and then they go up.
Oh, that's cute.
I think that would work. I can do
Yeah.
both.
Yeah, totally. Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but I like this idea of someone very flowy worshiping a frog and a frog.
Yeah. yeah. Someone like just like super well spoken.
Yes.
Very
Fluent,
articulate.
Very awesome. But then there's like a frog and a frog
Yeah.
on their pauldrons
Yeah.
or whatever.
Their shield.
Their shield has a
just
frog and a
has
frog.
Maribok on it. Yeah.
Yes.
They're both very like
Yeah.
reptilian.
You know, I'm blaming the green.
Mm.
I can't make something without.
That's a very like frog.
It's
color,
frog
isn't
green,
it?
I love
Yeah.
it.
I should probably change the color I'm using.
You don't have to. I think I like it. What if it's a pink?
Yeah.
It was wanting to have both worlds. It was, I love dinosaurs. I love Digimon. I love Pokemon. I also love pink. And I love changing my clothes a lot, wearing dresses, being fashionable. And as a kid, trying to balance those two things and not understanding why people were confused. Like having to find friends outside of my gender because I was interested in what they were interested in. But then not fitting with them because I'm presenting as a different gender. So there's that disconnect. One thing I've found throughout my life is that in-betweens and liminal space is where I'm happiest. Not to say it's been easy or that it always is a happy experience, but being able to have what I want from my interests and just being accepted for that, like being allowed to wear the fancy dress to a party while carrying like a T-Rex toy, like things like that. One vivid thing, I've kept this too. I have a crown I made in like grade 1. And all around it, we were like supposed to decorate it and stuff. Princesses and Godzilla. Specifically, the 1999 Godzilla, which I still love. Pink princesses, queens, whatever. With like 2 Godzilla heads up beside it. Like they're like a toy, or like not a toy, a pet. And it's just around this crown. And it's like there's that dichotomy that I just exist for. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Look. Wow. You got a. I didn't do good. You did good.
You didn't do good.
I did poorly.
I chose good dice, I guess.
Yeah, you really did, hey?
So I had those ones.
You're gonna add. So,
I got
okay.
15.
That is so good. That's 6 more than I got. I got a 9.
Okay, so my first number is 15.
You pick which one you want it
Right.
to.
Yeah.
But we're committing
Yeah.
to that.
15 goes to let you be a learned person. I do love making a learned character.
They're.
Even if they aren't intelligent, they are at least wise.
I'm imagining this is not an evil person.
No,
This
I'm
is
imagining this is the kind of
a kind-hearted-
Gorgon that wears sunglasses.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to do charisma then,
Okay.
because that was my first thing was like low charisma.
Yeah.
But no, I want a high charisma because I do think they're going to be charismatic.
They could be not very dexterous.
That's true. They don't have.
Do they have feet or no?
No.
Then less
Snake
dexterous.
body. I'm gonna. We'll
Yeah,
do.
let's do that. That's the other thing. I had 2 older brothers by quite a bit, like 10 years. And my mom was not afraid of just letting me follow them. She would like also dress me up in the standard gender roles, but I liked it, so it didn't matter. But I also was allowed to play with my brother's G.I. Joes. Like, I didn't have to have Barbies. It was Barbies, it was G.I. Joes together. It was a bunch of random stuff from the 80s that I got to exist with in the 90s, so it was great. I was free to like what I liked. And it wasn't until going to school that I found out that was odd. Like, it wasn't until put with other kids that it was like, oh, this thing I really like that I want to talk about, Digimon, only the boys like it. So I guess I'm going to go hang out with the boys. But that makes me a tomboy. So now I have to be a tomboy because I can't be a girl. Like, that's when the confusion started to come in regards to, not even confusion, just frustration, I think is a better word for it, of, okay, well, as all kids, I will try and fit these categories because I want to fit in. Like, I want to have friends. I don't want to be alone. I recently just accepted that as a kid, I was bullied. Not in the stereotype you see on TVs. I was bullied by exclusion. So unless I followed what people were interested in or expected of me, I wasn't allowed to participate. Could you imagine if you had both wisdom and intelligence that were high?
I don't know how I would play that.
I don't either.
That's the other reason why I don't usually make my characters very smart, because it means that I don't need to be smart. My character right now, that I'm currently playing, is she's got a pretty bad memory. The only reason for that is that my approach to tabletop role-playing game is to never take notes.
That makes sense.
And so I forget things, and then I'm like, you know what, it's fine, because my character wouldn't remember it either.
So now I'm playing in character.
Yeah, it works. Take notes for your for your whoever is running the game.
Make sure there's a note
do
taker.
do them a favor and at least have one person who takes notes. I just know that I am not that person, and my notes also would be pretty trash. That's looking incredible.
It's a lizard
Wow.
with armor. I don't know.
Wow, they look incredible.
Is that how? That's how paladins work, right? They do armor.
Yeah. Armor and magic and deities. That is so cute.
It's very cute. I didn't intend it to be cute, but
Is this going to become a real character you play?
I don't know. I will need another campaign.
Oh, look at them.
What worked for me coming out of high school, no longer applicable. I'm a completely different human being. I don't even recognize the me who came out of high school, which is hilarious. Because I thought I was so confident in my personality. Not like my existence or my role in society, but in my personality I was like pretty set. And I thought, oh yeah, this is the part I have figured out. No. I might be similar, but I feel like enough is different that, yeah, like time changes you. Time changes your personality, your preferences, your needs. And that anytime we try to apply something that is a very rigid category, we're just fighting against time changing us.
Next roll. Wait, we're timing it. We just. Okay.
Oh, see, that was more reasonable. Maybe you shouldn't use those dice.
I got 2 1s. 2 1s, a 3, and a 4. All right.
So
Nope.
we can re-roll ones, right?
Oh, that's true. We did make that rule.
But you had to keep what you get.
So these are my dice. I've never rolled this well with my dice.
I never roll this well with my own dice. Do paladins try to convert people?
I mean, yours could.
Mine could.
I think that's up to you.
I could. That would be kind of funny.
A little like door-to-door paladin.
Door-to-door paladin for Maribok the frog.
Oh, they've got like pamphlets.
Okay, done.
They hand out.
13 for charisma. It's a they, them.
Relatable.
Yes. Very relatable. And if you ask them what their gender is, they just look at you.
They don't actually have a concept of gender.
No, they don't have a concept
I
of
love
gender.
that.
We're staying on brand.
We really are.
And you know, it's interesting because that's what part of the reason I've never felt part of the queer community. I obviously identify with it, but I don't feel part of the community because the categories that are within queerness give me anxiety because I don't fit them. I just don't follow the binaries. I can fit any spectrum within that because I find like when I considered other ways of being non-binary, they still seem to have specific things like check marks I had to mark off, while non-binary felt like it was just saying what I wasn't, which felt nice. Everything else felt like a label. Non-binary felt like a category.
All right. Well, we have finished up our characters. They're pretty great, honestly. I would like you to introduce your character.
I have created Paulo Rim, voice of Maribok, a lizard person paladin, pronouns they, them. Gender? No?
No?
No. They have a shield that they usually bash people with, and a sword, just in case.
In case.
In
yeah,
case.
That's secondary, though.
They both crawl on their all fours as well as bipedal. Because why not?
They're excellent.
A bit of a glass cannon, but whatever.
Yeah.
Their purpose is to spread the good word of Maribok. More people need to understand that Frog and Frog has a lot of power.
It's true.
Yeah.
That frog ducking.
They tend to go door to door to talk to people about Maribok, but that's also how they get their jobs.
Oh, that's a good little. That's great.
Yeah, people are like, no thanks, but also you can stab things, right?
That's awesome. I love that. I made a Gorgon named Chorus. Thank you for the name.
You're welcome.
She uses she, they pronouns, presents female, and is like a corn snake edition of Gorgon. She is actually pretty strong, bit of a gym rat, works out. I mean, what do you do? She lives on her own in the woods. Has accidentally petrified a lot of people. The reason why she's leaving home, though, is to hopefully figure out a way to reverse said petrification.
And get rid of the gnomes on her lawn.
And get rid of all the gnomes that decorate her lawn.
Something I will always appreciate about my mom. She changed her career so many times. depending on the situation. She was a lab tech out of university. She had kids. She did like door-to-door sales. She did aerobics teaching. She did bus driving. She did a lot of things. And then like once we were old enough and out of her way, she went back to school and became a librarian because that's something else she wanted to do. And I'm very inspired by that part of her. And I like to apply that to more than just career. I lived my life raised as someone who was a woman. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that experience. I'm not unhappy with it. Partially because I was allowed to be the weird woman that I feel like I still technically am. But I don't hate it. I'm not scared of it. And it feels like it really informs who I am now. If I had been raised as a boy, I would have a very different personality. The core probably would be the same, but because I was raised as a boy, I would have a different personality than I do now. And it feels important not to ignore that fact. So when I say non-binary, it states how I am now. And pronouns being they, them is how I would like to be perceived. But if you use she, her, it's not... I know it's triggering for other people to be misgendered. For me, I don't feel that. And again, like that's part of the reason why I feel so anxious sometimes requesting other pronouns, because it really doesn't matter to me, but I know it does to others, and I want to support them. And so in a sense, like that's my people pleasing of, I want to support these people and what this pronoun means to them. And also present myself in a way that makes me comfortable. But I also just don't want to forget what role I've played.
Thank you so much
You're very
for
welcome.
joining me today, for chatting, for
Reminiscing,
as well as just like
making the RPGs.
giving me some things to talk to my therapist about.
Unintentionally, but that tends to happen.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yes.
I'll meet with her. She'll be like, "You've made some real strides." I'm like, well.
Well, this is a person I know who thinks a lot.
I can't take credit for all of it. But yeah, thank you so much. This has been a delight.
Thanks for having me, Keil.
You bet. Okay, bye.
Bye.
And we're done. We did it.
Woo.
Wow.